What's up, guys? Kian Brown here with Jason Hurd.
Yo,
We just here talking about what's important to us. Thank you for watching. We want to make sure you're having a great week and just talk about some things that are important to us. Jason, what's important to you this week?
what's important to me this week is just, I've set out a list of goals for myself this week. Being an operator of a startup business, there's of course things that I got to do early in the morning. I mean, today starts with checking my emails, responding to everyone, making sure that I'm starting the day off in the right direction. Obviously, if there's invoices that need to be fulfilled, you got to follow up and check on that as well. And then creatively, I need to stretch as well. So I work with acting coaches privately. Auditions pop up. I can get an audition tomorrow for 3 o'clock and it could be 10 pages. So I'm always keeping myself open to those opportunities. As well as I have a few events lined up this week. There's a lot of holiday parties going on through my company, Primetime Event Staffing. So Thursday, Friday, that's what I'll be up to this week. Just making sure that everyone is booked, we have the scheduling correct, and that people show up on time and are able to provide the service that we're used to provide.
Now, you might be looking and saying, I know this guy, I've seen this guy before. He is a CEO of his own company, but also an actor.
Right.
Can you talk about some of the things that you're up to and some of the previous things that you've got and then your vision for the future?
Sure. As an actor, I started acting when I came back from college. Well, first I started off modeling. I went to school. I went to Barry University in Miami.
Come on,
And yeah, I was out there actually interning with the Heat the year that Shaq and those guys won. So that was amazing. I was working with the marketing with the crew over there. And at the same time, I signed with Elite Model Management. And that's where I started off. And I actually walked in a Rockaware show out there. And I still have that first S. Carter sneaker from the show. But that transitioned into shooting my first commercial, which led to my training as an actor. I came back home and I studied here at Bill Esper Studio, along with a slew of other coaches. The first movie that I got was Cop Out with Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan. Then that led to How to Make It in America, a guest starring role there.
HBO.
Big. Yeah, Cop
Kid
Out.
Cudi.
Yeah, it was dope. Yeah, my scene was with Victor Rusak and Kid Cudi. It was great, man, just to be. What I find, though, more importantly, is that I attracted that stuff, and I didn't even know that I attracted it. But I met Tracy Morgan at the first Sunday premiere down at the Tribeca Cinema, and I told him, like, yo, man, I'm watching you on YouTube all the time. You're hilarious. He was dealing with this whole this chapter where he was like drunk on TV a lot and was bugging out. But to me, that was hilarious as a kid, seeing him jump on the table and got my six pack, all this stuff. So I tell him, like, yo, Tracy, I'm gonna work with you one day. And lo and behold, I get an audition with Jen Houston down in Tribeca. I'm like on super like starving artist mode. I got probably $5 left, in my pocket. I'm living with my grandmother, and I wake up that morning and I'm just like, well, listen, nobody knows what I'm going through. I just gotta go and like be me, just walk, walk with power, keep my chin up, and just let that talent shine. So I go into the office and I my slate was, hey, my name is Jason Hurd, and I came here with using my last $5, and I was just so real, and I think in that raw moment it broke that wall, that fear that I had of like a condition that was just something that could be easily fixed, right? And it allowed that door to open. And I ended up booking that film and then being on set with Tracy for the first time. Like, Tracy's all the time he's working on his on his comedy. So when you're talking to him, he's using his material
on you.
But it makes sense though, because it's like so fruitful.
Sure.
And yeah, it's so inspiring. So that was something that was very important to my start as an actor. And it always taught me to like be real, right? Acting, living truthfully under imaginary circumstances, right? Just be you. And so, then I was doing a lot with the NBA. I was shooting the training videos, which led to me meeting some of my best friends in the world, my brothers. I consider them Phil House Antoine Harris, Andre Douglas, Brandon Hines, all these guys.
Absolutely.
We were like, the Rat Pack here in the city for a little while and just working creatively. We were shooting the industrial videos. We all end up booking this movie randomly, and it was a basketball film. And Lionsgate ended up purchasing the film and distributing, and then another company called Chelsea Films in the UK. So this is Game Time, which came out. This is back in 2011, 2012. Game Time is airing now on recently on Univision and the Bounce.
Univision.
Yeah, Univision. And the Bounce Network.
Nice.
Which is cool. It was Netflix, got that all digital distribution deal, which was great. Just being an actor or calling myself an actor, right? And have an opportunity to match my childhood love of playing sports and that competitive nature to bring it in front of the camera for the first time was just like a dream come true with my best friends.
Absolutely.
So
speaking of ball, quickly, I know you're a baller, basketball, football. Who's your team and favorite player now?
I'm a Knicks fan for life.
About those Knicks.
Oh man.
About those Knicks.
Yeah, it's building blocks. It's building blocks.
What do you think about D Rose?
I think D Rose is amazing. He came here, he put in work, he's got the back spasms right now. He definitely made an impact. I mean, he's just so quick. He opens up the floor, he plays defense. So I love everything about him. I just hope that we can stay healthy.
Absolutely. What about Melo?
Melo's my man. 50 grand. That's
50
my
grand
man right there. Yeah, Melo, I think that everyone criticizes him defensively, but you just can't, he's got such a gift that, yeah, if he did push himself a little harder, you never know. Maybe he could access something else. But his game is just, no one can stop him. So,
he's relentless.
Right. He's relentless in his pursuit of greatness. So, you can't be mad at a guy like that.
Inside of being, what is intriguing about you is being authentic and being very clear about what you want, who you are, and what's possible for you.
Right.
But it wasn't always like that, I'm sure.
Right.
What had you come to a clarity that you are in this moment?
Right. Well, I think as a kid, I grew up in a situation where my family very close. We're very closely linked up. My mom, her the Puerto Rican side, where my mom is 1 of 9, so we're very tight knit group, and we didn't have a lot. My mom raised my brothers and I. I'm the youngest of 3. She probably raised us making $35,000 a year. But I didn't feel like I was lacking anything because there was always love there. And I can remember, countless times me being in the bathroom, brushing my teeth, or just in the mirror, and she would stand behind me and tell me, you just affirm, Jason, you are great. You can be great. You are gonna do amazing things in this world. And it was just for her to lift me up like that, it gave me the ammunition that I needed to go out there and keep my chin up and try to navigate. And luckily I went to a Catholic high school. I went to Mount St. Michael Academy. I had a very tough basketball coach, Coach Brea, who he installed certain ideals in me that I take with today, where it's just one of the main things is, especially New York, everybody knows New York ball players, we're all fancy. We want to make you fall and shoot the J in the face. And my coach, I can hear his voice today, Hurt, act like you've been there before. And that's the main thing. It's just no matter what it is that you're able to accomplish, act like you've been there. There's a difference between motivating and inspiring people by sharing, but then there's also a certain classy, aura that you can walk with that creates presence, and outside of visually, that presence will take you where it is that you're going. And I think being open to receiving things is a major point as well, because for a long time I kind of felt man, I'm not really worthy of this, because that mental bondage that was there, because you don't have people doing some things that happen to some people every day, and so you're wait, it's probably too good to be true. Then I went on a spiritual journey, and I started studying Kabbalah. And I think that taught me to look inside. And it's, one of the teachings is like, being a victim or being proactive.
Sure.
I mean, having victim nature is, oh, this is happening to me, this is bad, it's like you almost attract it the more that you speak about it. But being proactive means that you like see what you're dealing with, see what's on the table, and then you figure out, okay, this is most important to knock out, this is second, third, and then you start to just see how to navigate and, what's important. And I realized that with that, there was like a time period where I was at home listening to instrumental beats because I always used to try to like dissect them and figure out like how it's constructed. And then I think it's just the most amazing thing to like have a beat and then on top of that is an artist with the vocals because it's so like finely tuned that it impacts us in a way that shifts our emotions. And so I think that,
that's artistry.
Right. Me being, just so heady into that stuff. There was one night where I was at my grandmother's house and I was like going through, whatever shit I was dealing with. Excuse me. And, whatever I was dealing with. And I just started asking myself, Jason, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? As I got the headphones on and I kind of felt like this energy come over me and I just started like to dig into my history as much as I knew about my family, my grandparents, where they came from, how many kids they had, what those kids are doing now, who's my mom, where did she come from, like how is she affected by that? Same thing with my dad, same thing with my brothers and everybody I knew, and then I figured out that like I was like a small part of that big picture, but I could make such an impact that it would go from that picture to maybe people who are somewhere else that I would never meet in person, but I would have the opportunity to like speak to them, And
what was that? Do you think that came over you in that moment?
It was God. Yeah, it was God. It was like I felt something leave and I felt something enter. Maybe it might have been fear. Maybe it might have been, just His power. I think that we all are vessels for either good or bad, and that day I felt like it was my duty to understand what I'm here for and keep on investigating. And then I realized that the more good I do, the better I feel. And if I can help someone, then maybe they would help someone, and so it's just little things. It's just that ripple effect that you can't really explain unless it's happened to you before, and you can say, okay, like there's something interesting, but I just know that experience happened to me. And there was another time where I was sitting at dinner and I received a fortune cookie, and it had 5 different fortunes in it, and they all were like super affirming, and again, I think that's God as well, to stay on point, stay good, So yeah, that's
the fascinating Jason Hurt. We got more with Jason Hurt. Where can they find more about you?
Yeah, well, right now I'm actually building my social media platforms. I'm figuring that stuff out. Instagram is at jason.hurt, Hurt. And on Facebook, you can find me as well. I also have a website, jasonhurt.me. M-E.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, man, thank you for having me.
More with him later.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.